Yamaha R9. We can't start this video off without mentioning the Yamaha R9. After so much speculation and anticipation, the details of this machine have finally been confirmed. Yamaha has been edging us for literally years. Whether you're a diehard super sport boy who thinks the R9 will never hold a candle to the former R6, or if you're just an old-fashioned Yamaha simp that is eager to eat spoonfuls of whatever Team Blue offers up to you, it feels good that the R9 is totally official now. It's real, it's on the website. Oh my God, there's no more AI renderings of it on Instagram. We finally just have the freaking bike and we can all collectively move on with our lives. And this is the first time it's making its way to a list video in any official capacity. Love it or hate it, the R9 exists and we must talk about it here. Despite being based on the revered CP3 engine from the MT-09 and having the coveted R bike moniker, the R9 is a new concept for Yamaha, designed to balance street duty and track-ready performance. Unlike the phased-out R6, the R9 is not positioned as a direct replacement, but rather a fresh take on the supersport category. So stop comparing it. It's not the point. If you want an R6, just pay an exorbitant amount of money and get a used R6 and be quiet. These R6 stands are seriously going off in the wake of this new R9 debut. As mentioned, the R9 is powered by a repurposed 890cc CP3 inline 3-cylinder engine from the MT-09, providing it with a balanced and well-rounded power delivery suited for street and track. In the MT-09, the CP3 makes a fun, usable 117 ponies and a juicy 69 foot-pounds of torque. In the R9, new ECU settings and taller gearing will likely tweak the power figures and delivery slightly to best suit its use case. A big feature of the R9 is its lightweight aluminum Delta Box frame, which supposedly is the lightest frame ever offered in a Yamaha Supersport bike, contributing to its overall total weight of 430 pounds. Now, one thing that we really don't know yet, and until we actually see the bike in person, I don't really know if the frame is actually different from the Yamaha MT-09. I imagine it's slightly different, and that would make it pretty cool. The frame is designed for both street agility and track precision, and it's paired with an adjustable KYB suspension components. Ergonomically, the R9 is more substantial than the R7, featuring a wider tank and a larger saddle. The rider triangle is designed for a balanced ergonomics package that offers a sport bike stance that is still comfortable enough for longer rides. Now, the R9 features an extensive electronic suite that you really didn't find on the R6, including lean-sensitive TC, power modes, quick shifter, and other rider aids, all accessible via a 5-inch TFT display with a 6-axis IMU. I mean, heck, the R9 even has cruise control. With its sporty, fully fair design, adjustable suspension, Brembo brakes, and modern rider aids, the R9 offers a ton of value. With its slated price of just $12,499, that really is a lot of bike for the price, and I think that's about what the R6 was costing when it was phased out anyways, so this is pretty great news. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we can all move on with our lives. So, KTM has gotten some pretty bad press lately since it was exposed since the 890 and 790 engine cams were made out of marshmallows, but maybe their first true modern production sport bike, the 990 RCR, will help earn them a spot in the good graces of motorcyclists again. You know, guys, it's really fun what's happening in the super sport category. You have stuff like the R7 and RS660, this new twins class, but now we're seeing this like plus size 120-ish horsepower super sport category as well. So we're getting a lot of options here, which is pretty cool. The KTM 990 RCR stands to be a worthwhile addition to KTM's lineup as a homologated performance sport bike. KTM is always saying ready to race, so why is it taking so long to sell a true production race bike? It's about time. The KTM 990 RCR evokes KTM's racing DNA, looking a little bit like their MotoGP project bike and reminding us of the RC8C performance race bike, delivering a high-performance machine that is both track-ready and street-legal, and it's set to debut in early 2025. The 990 RCR is designed for super sport performance, but it's homologated for the street, making it a versatile choice for track junkies who bleed orange and want the ease of use of their street-legal machine. That makes it very different than their track-only RC8C, which is limited to just 100 units of production. The 990 RCR is powered by KTM's LC8C parallel twin engine, providing this bike with 127 horsepower and 76 foot-pounds of torque. It features fully adjustable WP Apex suspension and highly refined rider geometry for performance and control. And in true MotoGP inspiration, the 990 RCR has, drumroll please, aerodynamic winglets, an absolute must for any modern fully faired machine these days. If you're looking for a dedicated track machine, the KTM 990 RCR will also be sold in the Racing Dedicated Track Edition, stripping away DOT required lighting and mirrors and adding race use mods like a full exhaust system and modified bodywork. Pricing has not been confirmed for the 990 RCR, but it's set to start rolling off the assembly lines in early 2025. One thing that's got me thinking with all these motorcycles like the R9 and RCR is the fact that Suzuki is once again failing upwards with their GSX R750, a bike that hasn't been updated in, I don't know, 15 years that now all of a sudden looks competitive against all these motorcycles again. It's crazy how Suzuki just bides their time and somehow makes off like a bandit. And you know I had to do it to them, whatever my personal thoughts may be on the CFMOTO 675 SS, it is making serious waves in the motorcycling world. Will one ultimately end up on the channel as a giveaway bike? Who's to say? You know that will get those juicy Chinese bike clicks, so let's talk about the 675 SS for a second. 675cc 3-cylinder sport bike. Well, CFMOTO aren't exactly the first to do that, if you catch my drift, but it does offer something new to the current landscape of middleweight sport bikes. The CFMOTO 675 SS is the Chinese-based company's first 3-cylinder engine, and most of their larger bikes use modified versions of KTM's parallel twin engine. The 675 is definitely their sportiest model yet, aimed at middleweight, not-so-super sport bikes like the Honda CBR 650R, the Triumph Daytona 660, and the Suzuki GSX 8R. And in typical CFMOTO fashion, it is priced incredibly competitively at just $7,999, something that we need to make a note of right off the bat. It offers significantly more value for money compared to its middleweight Japanese and British rivals, all of which cost more than $9 grand. Even the kind of milquetoast Ninja 650 costs $8,300 without ABS for the 2025 model year, so that's pretty impressive. But again, that CCCP money is pretty good. The 675cc triple in the SS is good for a claimed 95 horsepower and 52 foot-pounds of torque. That's quite a bit down on power compared to the venerable Daytona 675 Super Sport, but it keeps it pretty on par with the current ranks of the not-so-super sport bikes like the current Daytona 660 triple or the GSX 8R twin. It has a fully adjustable KYB fork for rebound and preload adjustability, and a monoshock as well on the back, and J-Huan brakes. For a modern middleweight sport bike, it does offer a sort of analog riding experience without too many digital nannies. It has an upshift-only quick shifter, dual-channel ABS, and traction control, and that's about it, which is kind of cool in its own right. There's always going to be a bit of skepticism when it comes to these new CFMOTO bikes, and while a 675cc 3-cylinder sport bike isn't a wholly new idea, it's cool to see them making a new middleweight bike that's not just a white label KTM. I'm curious to learn more about these bikes as they start landing stateside. Maybe I'll have to get my hands on one and try it out for myself. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you're bound to know that we're partial to rock form handlebar mounts and phone cases around here. I'll always keep a mount on the giveaway bike as well as my personal bike, which always comes in handy if I'm doing a longer ride where I need GPS navigation. Just when I thought Rockform's lineup of motorcycle products couldn't get any better, I'm excited to share with you that they've just recently released a brand new mounting system that maximizes your options for adjustability and convenience. The new Pro Ball mount is the most functional mounting system yet. It uses a universal handlebar mount that's compatible with handlebar diameters from 7/8 all the way to 1.5 inches, includes 5 different spacers to ensure a perfect fit. The double ball joint provides endless options for adjustability, so you can get the perfect viewing angle no matter what your bike setup is like. The Pro Ball mount is made of CNC aircraft grade aluminum with stainless steel hardware, so it's built to stand the test of time no matter how aggressive your riding is. The Rockform Pro Ball mount is an awesome addition to the line of products, so if you haven't gotten a Rockform mount yet or you're looking for an upgrade, click the link in the description and use the code YN25 to receive 25% off your order. That's 25% off using code YN25. Thanks so much to Rockform for the continued support on the channel. Now let's get back to the show. It only took them something like 125 years, but Royal Enfield finally figured out how to build a liquid-cooled engine. The Himalayan 450 that debuted this year sparked a new chapter for Royal Enfield, building into the realm of contemporary liquid-cooled bikes that genuinely compete with the Japanese and European competition on the global stage. The Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450 is another new addition to Royal Enfield's expanding lineup, offering a road-focused alternative to the Himalayan adventure bike. This 452cc single-cylinder street bike shares its DNA with the Himalayan, but has been tuned for roadster performance and city riding. This might not be as exciting as the R9 and the 990 RCR as a way of cutting-edge performance, but in the wake of the smashing success Triumph has seen with their 400 class bikes, it is refreshing to see Royal Enfield sort of come correct with some actually contemporary machines. At its core, the Guerrilla 450 is powered by a liquid-cooled 452cc single-cylinder engine, which is shared with the latest gen Himalayan 450, a bike I was privileged enough to have the opportunity to ride in the actual Himalayas to celebrate its debut, and it allowed me to see a whole new side of Royal Enfield that I wasn't sure was ever going to exist. This engine delivers 40 horsepower and 30 foot-pounds of torque, providing an appropriate amount of power for a beginner rider without being painfully anemic and underpowered like the old air-cooled Himalayan and Scram 411. This bike also uses a 6-speed gearbox for more comfortable high-speed cruising and a slipper clutch to help with clunky beginner downshifts. Although the engine, frame, and transmission are the same as the Himalayan, the Guerrilla 450 has some other tweaks to cater to its street-focused use case, like different rear sprockets, subframe suspension, and 17-inch cast wheels. You'll also find bi-bree brakes with dual-channel ABS. Pricing hasn't been confirmed for the Guerrilla 450 in the US, but the Himalayan has an MSRP of $57.99, and the Guerrilla is set to come in a little cheaper than that. And if the Triumph Speed 400 is sitting below $5 grand, I imagine Royal Enfield doesn't have much wiggle room to price it a whole lot higher than that. I love the Triumph Speed Twin 1200. It's refined, fun, and sporty while still offering the classic Triumph charm and character. And for 2025, there will be a Triumph Speed Twin 1200 RS. The Speed Twin is already the sportiest bike in Triumph's modern classic lineup, and the new RS variant pumps that up even further. The RS, thanks to its new lower handlebar and rear set foot pegs, puts the rider in a more aggressive riding position. It has a fully adjustable Marzocchi front fork that lets the rider fully dial in their settings for their weight and style. The Speed Twin RS takes some cues from the recently discontinued Triumph Thruxton, like dual piggyback Öhlins shocks in the rear that are fully adjustable as well. These shocks don't just allow for more fine-tuning, they're also longer than those found in the base model, which gives the RS a sportier stance. The RS also has Brembo master cylinder and stylemic calipers for improved braking performance. For 2025, the Speed Twin's classic 270-degree parallel twin has been further tuned to make 104 horsepower and 83 foot-pounds of torque. Such a velvety smooth engine. I really do love that parallel twin. The Speed Twin RS also uses an up and down quick shifter now, a first for any bike in the Bonneville range. That would probably feel kind of fun. It also has lean-sensitive ABS and traction control. The RS has a third riding mode, Sport Mode, that is not found in the base model. The Triumph Speed Twin 1200 RS is one of the sportiest bikes out there that can actually and currently claim the title of being a modern classic. It costs $2,400 more than the base model, coming in at $15,595. What do you guys think about these new bikes hitting the scene in 2025? There are still plenty of new models that are rumored and speculated that I'm excited to get more information on. Is Aprilia going to cross-platform their 457 engine into a Tuono or a Touareg? Will Ducati put their new Supermoto single-cylinder into a sport bike or a dual sport or ADV bike? Are we going to get the Desert Sled back? Will Honda actually make that CBR 400RR sport bike? Only time will tell. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. You can stay up to date on all these cool new bikes coming out. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Fact: water can boil and freeze at the same time. This phenomenon is called the triple point, which occurs when temperature and pressure reach the exact conditions for the three states of matter to exist simultaneously. Goodbye.
Keep watching, Emmy!